Hello everyone, this is Peter, and this is my new bus that I purchased yesterday. It is a 2001 Blue Bird Freightliner, a former Ohio bus, formerly bus number 14-00 from Noble Local Schools in eastern Ohio. Fun fact, that is the second bus that I've owned that was originally operated by a district with Noble in the name, so that's a pretty fun fact. It's really not in great shape. You can see it's got some rust here. Plenty of mud here from an unspecified incident earlier today, in which I found out that when some little roads say no through traffic on them, they mean it, especially for larger vehicles with longer wheelbases like trucks and buses that can't easily turn around. And they especially can't turn around when there is mud on either side of the narrow little street. So, yes, two tow trucks later, we're back here in the storage lot. I was going to get it washed today, and I took a wrong turn and ended up having to get towed out. So, that's pretty fun. This is the rear end. You can see it's got a gray bumper instead of a black one. It's got this quality patch job right here, that's beautiful. And this nice little rust spot on the door. You can also see it's only got one aero lens, because I wasn't able to put the other one on there. These two screws don't want to come out, so I'll have to use brute force on them or find some other way to get that lens off. This is the other side of the bus. Pretty cool. This thing is going to look a lot different once I'm done with it, because it's going to be the number 44 Hot Wheels themed race bus at Lawrenceburg this year, sponsored by the Greater Cincinnati Hot Wheels Club and Yellow Bus Sales out of Newcomerstown, Ohio, who was kind enough to partially donate this for me with a small donation. This is the only real modification I've made so far. It's just a bus now, not a school bus. I also touched up some of the black warning paint. Black warning light surround paint that was coming off. As we step inside, nothing super noticeable about the inside. I'm sorry, notable, not noticeable. Sorry. I had a couple of wasps in here earlier, which was pretty notable. But I let them out and they haven't come back. So you can see the seats have a crap ton of mold on them. But that's okay, because they're not going to stay in here anyway. The seats and the windows are going to be taken out in preparation for race day. The one unusual feature that this bus does have, apart from the Freightliner chassis, is the one-piece flooring, which you don't see a whole lot of here in Ohio. I thought they just took the metal guards off the edges, but apparently this was a factory option. So, that said, let's sit in the slightly worn but still comfortable Bostrom driver's seat. Sit right next to the slightly roughshod driver's panel, which is now missing the radio. Or I guess that was the head unit. This is where the radio was. And let's start her up. Oh, and just about 224,000 miles on this. So, they definitely got their money's worth out of it. It's a pretty healthy sounding engine, I would say. Yeah, we had to drive this bus. Me and my buddies Ryan and Kevin took turns driving this 3.5 hours back from Mike and B Sales, aka Yellow Bus Sales in Newcomerstown, which was about a 3.5 hour trip back. And I hadn't driven a Freightliner out on the actual road before, but Ryan and Kevin had driven them in their careers as school bus drivers, and they both said, yeah, it's a good bus. It's running and driving as it should. Didn't have a single light come up on the dashboard, apart from the parking brake light, on the whole 3.5 hour journey, so that was good. The only thing I noticed driving it around today was that the water temperature gauge was getting a little too close to the red. It was probably getting about here on the needle. I don't know if that's normal for Freightliners during highway driving or what the deal is. But yeah, apart from that, I kept an eye on all the gauges when I was driving, and it all looks okay. So for a bus that supposedly wasn't going to sell according to the owners and sat unsold for over a year in the sales lot, I think I'm very fortunate to have this beautifully running Freightliner. One other feature, I don't know if this has been shown off a whole lot or not, but the tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Now it's controlled by this little button down here in the footwell. Mine tilts, but it only kind of telescopes. It like comes out and it doesn't really like to go back in. Let me demonstrate. So yeah, it goes up, down, and all around. Well, unfortunately I can't really pull it out with one hand. It's kind of difficult to get, but yeah, it's not completely operative. It's also more than a little bit dirty. The rubber is degrading, kind of. But yeah. One feature that I was looking for on my future race bus that I ended up getting was the strobe. This has a strobe included. Let's turn this thing off. There's the emerald green pilot light. Let's see, the dome lights work as they should. Not that I'll have much use for them. I think they let me keep those in the race bus, but all the glass and all the seats and everything will have to come out. I don't know about the floors. I think the floors can stay in, but yeah, we have some work to do on this one. Let me see if I can get the warning lights on the outside. Should still be hooked up. There we go. Oh, I see. This is a, I didn't notice this before now. This is an air-operated stop sign. You can hear the valve going. There we go. I don't know what this weird bulge in the grill is. I think they tried to repair that themselves. District this came from was a really rural district, so lots of like gravel roads and high mileage buses being retired. Pretty sure this one was retired after the 2018 and 19 school year, I think. Maybe the year before that, I'm not real sure. But yeah, all incandescents on this bus except for the clearance lights. Those, let me see if I can turn those on. I don't know how visible they'll be in the daylight. You can see the doors are in really terrible condition, unfortunately. They're like bulging with rust. And unfortunately, so are the door frames down there. Let's turn those lights on. Dashboard lights up real pretty, like my last bus didn't. That's one of the cool features of my last bus, is I never got the dashboard to light up. I think these are LEDs. I was told that they were, but yeah, they're hard to see in the daylight. Yeah, you can just barely see them on. But yeah, so I hate to say it, I haven't historically been much of a Freightliner fan. I've always preferred my Internationals, but I have to say this one is really growing on me. The only thing I don't like about it is the tendency of the steering wheel to kind of shake up and down as it's traveling at speed. Usually, well, this one's governed to 65. The maximum that I got on the way home was 67, like literally downhill with a tailwind. So 65 it is for this one. Kind of disappointing, since I figured, since it came from a rural district, it might be a little bit higher, like 75 or so. But oh well. But yeah, it's good to drive so far. I'm sure this is not the last you will be seeing of it, because I know Noah's going to be involved, Adam's going to be involved. My buddy DJ is coming soon to help me install the air horn that I got for it, which I think is some kind of a Grover that came off a Blue Bird, is what one of my friends said. And this bus is going to be repainted in blue eventually, and we're going to paint up the sides like the old Kyle Petty NASCAR Hot Wheels car, the number 44, for those of you who are 90s NASCAR kids, if you're still around. So yeah, this is my new bus, and I'm happy with it. Stay tuned.